Hello everyone, welcome back to another edition of the Velvet Lounge Life. And today we are going to be talking about the evil promoted eBay listings. Yes, so there are a lot of people who wonder why their amounts or their profits that they're making from their sales are lower. Well, ask yourself a single question. Are you promoting your listings? Now, if you're doing this, you have to remember when your item sells, and yes, you get to select the percentage of the extra fee or bonus that you want to pay eBay for already doing what you pay them a fee for. Actually, you pay them a couple fees. You pay one when you have a store, or if you decide to list an item, there may be fees involved with that after you get over a certain threshold of listings, as well as right after the item sells, you pay a fee to them for selling the item, and which has nothing to do with eBay, obviously, and it's a very reasonable fee right now. You also have to pay PayPal a fee. So technically, you're already paying either 3 or 4 fees, depending upon your listings. So on top of that, if you want to give them the extra bonus, what you can do is promote your listing. Now, to do that, you simply select the fact at the end of the listing, before it's listed, that you want to promote it. Yes, you select the percentage that you want to pay. There is a maximum. And after the item sells, that's the only good part of it, is after it sells, that is when you pay whatever percentage you agreed to. Now, the issue with promoted listings is you are already paying a bunch of fees to eBay. Now you have to pay them extra to do their job. That doesn't seem right. Not even in the slightest. And I am going to say something a little controversial here. Okay, I already said everything I just previously said was completely anti-eBay, controversial for some people. But what I'm going to say right now is also controversial to some people. There are times that using a promoted listing makes complete and absolute sense. And that is if you are listing items that are over, I'm going to say over $100. Yes, you will pay them a larger percentage, but you can also pick a lower amount on their slide scale. You don't have to go up to like 10 or 15%. You can go as low as 1% if you want to. I think you can even go lower than that if if that's your prerogative. But if you are selling something that is hard to get out in front of people, or an item that, let's say that everyone is selling the newest iPhone, that's like the perfect example. If everyone has the, brand new factory sealed, not a bootleg, not a con job, iPhone, and let's just say it's the newest version that hasn't even been issued yet, but we'll pretend that it's out there. And those, let's say, are selling for $700, $800, $900, then you might consider not promoting something like that. Why? Because there are so many of them out there, and plenty of other sucker DJs are going to promote that listing, and most likely yours will come up somewhere down below, whether it's, someone has to do something specific to search, or you can use the same exact words in your title that the other person used. Believe me, it'll come up if it makes sense. If you price it right, a little bit lower, then you will probably end up getting the sale, and you didn't have to give eBay an extra bonus. Also, like I said, one of the best times to use a promoted listings, I think, is if you have an item that is unusual, that's rare, that, cost more than $20, $30. And I'm saying items that, and I think that the items technically should probably cost more than 100. I think even more than a couple hundred isn't the worst idea. But, you know, you have to really be particular about using the promoted listing option because it is costing you money. There's a fellow I actually have a video for. I will link it to this video. So you should see that somewhere up here. Where's my hand? Up here. And he sold hundreds of items. He actually showed off by, you know, putting pictures on eBay. Like I sell a lot of items. I have never taken pictures of my stacks of items that go out, you know, especially when I have a lot of sales. I just don't want to put that out there like that. But I mean, choices, everyone makes choices. So he did that. And then after, I'm going to say it was like 2-3 weeks. So it was close to time to receive his invoice to pay his fees. And when he did that, he was like, what's going on? Like, I thought I was going to make this amount for a profit. I only made that amount for a profit. And he started complaining about eBay, about PayPal, which PayPal had nothing at all to do with it. I just have to add that back in there. And what it was, I took it offline with him. I helped him go through some of his numbers and such. I did a video about it. That's why you're going to see it somewhere like right here. This is like too funny. I don't know where I am, but you're going to see it like right here. And when we did that, we found that, you know, a couple things were his issues, and you'll see all of that in that video. But the number, probably one thing was the fact that he was promoting listings that had very low values. So if you sell something, especially if you're selling, like he sells a lot of the same things. So he does that whole retail arbitrage thing and going to Alibaba and wherever all these people go, and they pay those folks a ridiculous crap load of money. Then they come back and everybody and their mother is selling the same exact thing on eBay, and they're trying to, you know, stab each other in the throat to get to the bottom. So their numbers, as far as like the value of what they're getting, goes down, 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 which is great for people who are buying items. But I mean, how do you live if you're like trying to do this, especially as a living, or even if you do it like I do as just a side income hobby job, if you will. But I mean, I say that, but honestly, I am 100% serious about it, as my husband and child know, and everyone else in the business knows. But, you know, I'm just trying to say I don't have to survive off of it. And there are people trying to survive off of this, but they are just, like I said, stabbing themselves in the throat when it comes to their profits by doing this promoted listings, because he was selling items that sold for under $20, and he was promoting the listings on them. And he was like, yeah, but you know, it gets me a sale quicker and this and that. And plus, looking at the amount he was listing these items for in comparison to what everyone else was doing, he was definitely, you know, bottom feeding 100%, which was one of his issues. And promoting listings on such low value items, that is definitely a shot in the foot. So if you're going to promote a listing, or any listings, first of all, the majority of people out there probably should not be promoting listings. I'm going to say that up front. And I'm going to say, out of everyone in eBay land that is selling, there's probably only like 15% of the listings out there, out of the millions of listings, maybe billions. Honestly, there's billions of listings, really are something that I think qualify for a promoted listing. Is the item rare? If it's rare and it's not something that most people will see, but you really want a collector, a museum, someone who actually has the cash to pay for that item, and it's a higher valued item, it might be worthy of promoting. Let's say that you have a vehicle for sale and it's a really decent, let's just say a Toyota Sequoia. That's a vehicle that a lot of people covet, and you know that your vehicle is in amazing condition for resale. It might be something that you want to promote. But if it's a junker, if you know it's only worth $1,000, I would not promote that listing. So if you have t-shirts, cheap clothes coming out of China, like those things don't need to be promoted because the value on them is so low. But if you have a rare, perfect condition, PSC rated, gold bar that George Washington kissed and then gave back to the people who stole it from, then yes, that might be something that you would promote. So you just need to be really picky about your promoted listings. And yes, the reason I have this on my screen is if you want to know when eBay is desperate to get people to promote a listing, or listings, multiples, they will start sending you emails and ads just like this. So you'll get those in your little message center saying, use our promoted listings to increase the visibility of all your eligible inventory in just a few clicks, even though you're paying us, a bunch of fees already. You have a subscription for a store fee. You're paying us if you go over the number of listings. You're also paying us when your item sells. You're paying us if you add extra features to the listing, such as bolding or whatever. Or if it falls outside of certain categories, you're also paying for pictures. Like if you list a book and, you might find yourself paying an extra fee for photos or whatever, for featured photos, I think they're called. So you're already paying them to do this particular job. And yes, I broke my fingernail. And someone came up with a perfect legal con of getting you to pay for a service you thought you were already paying for, and then to pay more for it by promoting those listings. It's not fair. It's not right. If you wonder why your sales are down, this is probably the issue. Why do they care if your item sells? If you're paying them to try to make it sell, even though you were already paying fees for that. Also, look at your statements if you're wondering why your profits, because there's a lot of people, and I always think that this is super hilarious. There are people who will brag about the fact that they had, I'm just making up numbers, 180 sales this month. And that's fine, but how do we know what you paid for the items? We don't know what you paid for them. We don't know what you're selling. Are you selling the same exact t-shirt to everybody for $5.99 plus free shipping and handling, and you promoted the listing? There are people who will actually put a picture out there, and we don't know if that's their picture or not. A snapshot saying, I made $100,000+ in sales this month and last month, or just this month, or today, or 5 minutes ago. Okay, so what? How much are you paying for the lease? How much are you paying for the stuff that you purchased to resell? How much are you paying employees, workers' compensation tax, sales tax that you collect, and you have to give that back? That's in that number. The amount that you pay for shipping and handling, yeah, that's in that number as well. How much did you pay in gas? How much did you pay in time? How much did you pay for these listings? How much are you paying for your store? I mean, the list goes on and on and on. So when you see these numbers, and I know a lot of people are so simple, they'll see a number or they'll see a picture with a bunch of packages that could actually be empty if you think about it. And they'll be like, let me buy this person's book, or let me follow that person because it is easy for people to believe pretty much anything. It's really sad. We see it over and over and over and over again. Stop making yourself out to be a sucker DJ. Look at the facts, read between the lines, do what is best for you and your business. There's a reason why eBay was a very viable resource for reselling for so many people. And now there's a reason why some of those people are now complaining, and some of them are talking about getting out of the business as if it's really going to hurt eBay. It will not even nick their knee. The only thing you're hurting is yourself, because you need to really educate yourself, become a leader, stop following, stop dragging yourself behind someone else, because guess what? It impacts your business. It impacts your morale. It impacts what you believe. And when you get to the heart of the matter and you really do read between the lines and you finally take that step, or I'm going to say these people probably need to take at least 10 to 20 steps backwards. And once they reevaluate their own businesses and restructure it, for profit versus for following, then I think that you will actually find you have a new mentality and your business has new energy and vitality, and you will make more in the future than you did in the past. So thank you so much for tuning in. Please give me a thumbs up for this video. If you don't agree with what I said, the worst thing you can do is give me a thumbs down. So go ahead and do it. I dare you. But also be man or woman enough to put in the comments why you did that. Obviously, make sure it's respectful, because this is just helpful, loving advice that your mom or dad would give you if they're a good mom or dad. And also, remember to subscribe to our channel. So take care, have a nice day, and happy sales.